Hey everyone, today I'm creating 30 birthday cards using one pack of light paper from Journalsay. Now this pack here is called Ocean Kingdom, and the pieces of paper are, I think they're tilted more towards Australian and UK sizes, so A2. But I did find that using a standard A2 card base and then a feature panel on the front of it, I was able to use each of these pieces of paper and then just trim off the excess, and it worked absolutely perfectly. So what I've done here is I've gone through and I've cut some panels at 5¼ by 4. And so this will leave a nice small border around a standard A2 card base. And then I'm being very careful here with my ATG, and I am attaching this really kind of thin light paper to the front of the panel. Now, when I do this, if I have a particular pattern that really feels like it needs to be centered on the paper, I put a little bit of extra at the top and a little bit at the bottom and trimmed it twice, just so I didn't create an imbalance to the feature at the front. The next thing I'm doing here is I have a whole series of P.E.T stickers that are in similar tones, so in these teal kind of, I don't know, antique-y kind of looking flavour, and I'm trying to work out how can I add just a little bit more interest to the front of these cards. Now, it worked out that on about half of them I could put kind of like one of the mermaidy style pictures, and then on the others I did a combination of the book with the spells and just anything that I thought would add a little bit of interest and not overshadow the intent of the original pattern paper. On the right hand side, you can see some of them have quite a lot of ocean theme items on it. For example, the one with the shark, and then there's ones that have like a treasure chest. And with any of those, I didn't add anything at all. I literally left them how they were because I felt like there was enough on the card, and if I added anything else, it would actually just cause it to just be overwhelming. The next thing I did was grabbed my distress ink here. I think this is walnut stain. And I've got my little dauber and I'm just running it across the edge of each of these, because when I put them onto the white card bases, I really want this to stand out a little bit and have quite a defined edge. The other thing is, because I'm actually using printed papers where a lot of the design work is already done, it does add that handmade feel when you add a few extra things, such as some ink blending or a sentiment, or in this case, I've got some more of these little P.E.T stickers. And these ones, I will try and find them online, but I did get them a little while ago. They are a whole bunch of just individual figures of female, just like walking, or some of them are beachwear, some of them are jeans, some of them are like woolen coats. They're all different seasons, and I just tried to pick ones that I felt, based on the stance or the style of the character walking, would fit here as though they were walking along the beach. So in the end, it worked out perfectly that I was able to find 3 that would suit. Now, 2 are the same and 1 is different because the stickers come in 2 of each. And with these backing panels, there is actually 10 different designs and 3 of each. As I was working through, what that meant was I kind of had to mix and match a little bit. And in most instances, I don't really have too many that are exactly the same. They're very similar, but some of them, have a different sticker or a different figure or a different little added interest to the panel. The next thing I needed to do was figure out what on earth was I going to do with a sentiment. And because most of the cards that I make are either birthday or kind of neutral occasions or sometimes thank you cards, I thought this time I would go with a birthday theme. Because I don't like to waste things, I do, when I end up with long strips of white cardstock, just grab a stamping block and a happy birthday stamp. And I normally use Versafine black ink because it's a nice pigment ink and you get a nice stamp regularly or most of the time on your first stamp. And I just ran through and stamped those out. And then you could see with my trimmer, I was just running through and making sure that they were cut out with a really nice border around each one. Given I'm not spending a lot of time on these cards and my goal was to try and make quite a few that look really great very quickly, I am using my liquid glue here and I am trying to work out whereabouts is the best place on the card to add the happy birthday. And for most of them, it's actually down on the bottom left. And I try and put it in a spot where it's really not overlapping too much of the card design, or it doesn't look like it's kind of a little bit out of whack. The other thing that I'll mention is on each of these cards, I did make sure that I ran some ink around the edge so that they have that same kind of vintage feel, and the happy birthday will stand out on the card without just being a little piece of white strip just, plonked on there, if that makes sense. So you can see here that for several of them, I do move them around the card. And if I make a choice where I think, not completely sure that that's my favorite, then for the next one of the same design, I will try a different spot. I really think that from a recipient of a card, they're not going to be too concerned if it doesn't look like it's perfect placement, and it gives me a chance to just try out a few different things as I go. Now, I'm going to put a link below to Journalsay, and I do have a discount code. I think it's 8% off your order if you're interested. And I'll try and put a link to the products that I used. But I really just wanted to create this video because there are ways that you can create very, very quick cards and bulk cards if that is your preference, and quite economically. So these pieces of paper, I think they're $3.04 for the pack of 30. And so if you've got all the other bits and pieces on hand, they are actually very, very quick to make. And for me, I felt like running through and having a bit of a card making session where I was able to create loads of them very quickly was absolutely perfect. You can see here I've used the liquid glue to put the panel on the front, and I've done that because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room so I can create that nice 1/4 inch border. And then I've got no extra layering behind. I didn't pop it up on any foam tape or anything like that, but it just means that I've got, with that ink around the edge and the nice white border, everything stands out really nicely. And again, these ended up like cute little cards. I have put another video here that I think you might enjoy. Have a great day.